We have had some bombshells come out about Blake Lively, and we saw that little clip they brought out where Blake is biting Justin Baldoni's lip. What's great about it is that it's coming from people who know what was happening directly on set, and that she was an unreliable narrator who frequently lied and manipulated situations on set.
Blake Lively just had a heartbreaking courtroom meltdown after Justin Baldoni revealed her awful behavior on set. And this time, it's not just gossip, it's real video proof.
Well, it's going to completely destroy her in court. They allege that there was significant behind-the-scenes turmoil involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Yeah, Blake allegedly tried to start a drunken flirt fest with Baldoni. And now the man dropped the proof right on the judge's desk.
That Justin and Wayfarer Studios have mountains of evidence.
And honestly, for months he stayed quiet, letting his lawyers speak for him, while Blake Lively and her team made him look like the bad guy. But when her lawyer openly said he faked evidence and twisted the story, that silence ended. Justin didn't answer with words. He answered with something much more serious, a USB drive given straight to the judge.
Now, I'm not going to play her video.
And what was on it? Footage that Blake Lively had likely hoped would never be seen. According to court insiders, this USB is now the most talked about piece of evidence in the whole case. It reportedly holds raw, unedited clips taken during and after filming, footage that Wayfarer Studios quietly recorded after noticing early signs that something seemed off with Blake's behavior on set.
And the footage, it also shows her being argumentative, condescending to people, like I said, inappropriate, contradicting her claims of harassment, that there was no harassment at all. And early on, Jamie Heath and Justin Baldoni saw that Blake was going to be a problem.
But the most shocking part isn't from the set. It comes from a quiet moment at a bar after a long and stressful day of filming. Some cast and crew were there, and the security cameras were recording.
No one believes that any sexual harassment happened. In fact, it would probably be the opposite way, where Blake was probably the one trying to harass others.
In that corner of the venue, Blake Lively, clearly drunk, walks up to Baldoni and starts touching him. When he turns away, she tries again, this time even more forcefully. That's when Baldoni pushes her back with his hands. That moment alone changes the whole story completely.
And we saw that little clip they brought out where Blake is biting Justin Baldoni's lip.
But it doesn't stop there. In the same video, Blake is seen dropping to her knees, crying and pleading. What she's saying can't fully be heard, but her body language says it all. She looks desperate, out of control, and like she's trying to get her way.
So she says that Blake was described by this person as a malignant narcissist, and that she was an unreliable narrator who frequently lied and manipulated situations on set.
This is the kind of breakdown that shows everything hidden underneath. This isn't a woman being hurt. This is someone losing control, and it's all recorded on tape.
On set, making work very challenging for everyone, and it is very difficult to work with her.
The real twist is this is the exact video Justin Baldoni tried to keep hidden from the public from the beginning. He wanted to protect Blake's honor even though she wrongly said he did something bad. He never planned to use this video as a weapon, but after people said he was lying and making fake proof, he had no choice. The truth had to be shown.
But now we have an insider who is confirming all of these different things.
Now that the footage has been reviewed privately in court, the tone has changed. Blake's credibility is now very weak. The court no longer sees this as just a simple he said, she said case. The USB shows what words alone could not.
And I would say this, we were all trying to figure out, we all believe that Blake is a narcissist, right? But we weren't sure. There's different types of narcissists, there's different classifications. You could be mid-range, you could be, it goes on and on.
This shows that Justin Baldoni was not only honest, but also trying to protect someone who was hurting his career. He lost money and the trust of the public, yet he was still slow to fight back strongly. But now, with this video released, the false image is broken. The court has seen Blake not as a victim, but as someone who was manipulating things and got caught.
But they describe her specifically as malignant narcissist. Now, here's the definition of a malignant narcissist, and you tell me if this sounds like Blake Lively. So, it is a term used to describe individuals exhibiting a combination of narcissistic traits such as grandiose sense of self, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy, along with more aggressive, manipulative, and abusive behavior.
This is no longer about legal plans or PR tricks. It's about a pattern of actions caught on video that Justin Baldoni didn't want to share but had no choice. Now it's the proof everyone needed, not just for what it shows, but for what it proves. Blake Lively broke every rule, and the only one who stayed quiet for too long was the person telling the truth. Blake Lively wasn't just hard to deal with. She was pure chaos wearing fancy shoes.
Now, this source also claims that she was very unprofessional, often arriving late, even hours late, calling in sick, changing lines, costumes, and causing the budget overruns, which we all knew.
According to a key insider who worked directly on the set of It Ends With Us, Blake was called a malignant narcissist. This wasn't just a normal diva who wants a better trailer or sometimes throws a tantrum. It was something deeper, darker, and much more harmful.
Getting into the details of this, I want to just go over this quickly, then we'll hop back into the report. But it says arrogance and self-centeredness. They have an inflated sense of their own importance and are preoccupied with their own needs and desires, often disregarding the feelings of others.
The term was used carefully. The source described her as a person who controlled, tricked, and influenced everyone around her, often by quietly causing problems and playing mind games. It wasn't just rude actions, it was behavior that disturbed the whole environment of the film's production.
That Blake attempted to take creative control of the entire film, and that she was undermining Justin's direction by stopping scenes and trying to redirect him.
Reports from the production team said that Blake often arrived hours late or didn't show up at all, giving unclear reasons like being sick several times between May and July 2023. These details were recorded in internal notes she never thought would be shared. Blake said she was too sick to film, but was later seen posting on Instagram from brunch or laughing with Ryan Reynolds in a behind-the-scenes video she forgot to delete.
She also was rewriting the script over and over, trying to get her version in there, and she was insisting that they use her edits.
Her delays made the production team change scenes at the last minute, which often doubled the costs. Whole shooting blocks were lost because the lead actress was said to be recovering from flu-like symptoms that no one ever saw.
This person, we've had these reports, which Katie points out. We had this report back in August, I want to say. It was on Reddit, where a person who was I think their neighbor was on the set, was part of the production crew, and had told them some of these things about Blake previously. They had put this in a Reddit thing anonymously.
An assistant director, speaking anonymously to Without a Crystal Ball's Katie Joy, described a very bad day. Blake arrived 5 hours late, complained about the lighting, and then demanded her costume be changed right away.
Back in August, when the movie was coming out, people were just upset with Blake's clothes, her age. She was way older than Lily, like almost 20 years older than what Lily should have been in the movie. And we saw how ridiculous her outfits are. I mean,
the design team picked the original wardrobe weeks ahead to match Lily Bloom's character growth. However, Blake thought it looked too young, even though she had agreed to it during pre-production.
She famously took over the film and wanted to do her own edit. Now, her cut of the film was reportedly unwatchable. Not just bad, but you could not watch it. And it scored really badly during the screening.
She insisted on wearing something she brought from home, but it clashed badly with the scene. Because of this, post-production had to digitally change her outfit in some shots to keep things consistent. The cost of this change was about $18,000, according to Wayfarer Studios' production expense log from that week.
And if you think about it, if you've watched the movie, the music is just like the costumes, the look of it, and none of it really gelled. And even the music didn't gel.
This wasn't just a one-time problem. Costume changes turned into a regular headache. Blake reportedly said no to more than 12 approved outfits, many of which were already altered to fit her.
Pop music in particular, which doesn't really vibe well with the serious nature that this movie was supposed to be.
Each last-minute change needed quick rewrites to keep the scenes consistent, which added extra work hours. This caused unexpected costs the studio hadn't planned for. By mid-July, Wayfarer's budget had increased by almost $320,000, a number that was confirmed in a budget variant sheet leaked during the court case.
If it was his original music that he wanted in there, how much better this film would have been. But again, this is part of what I'm thinking. She lied on Taylor, and that's why Taylor keeps putting that information out there. Like, I had no part of this other than they licensed my music.
The impact on morale was harsh. Crew members started rotating out or asking to move to other departments. Several emails included in Brian Friedman's court papers had subject lines like urgent, can't work with Blake another day, and need transfer, hostile, bad environment.
Now, this source also claimed that Blake threatened to accuse Justin of sexual harassment and to go to the New York Times if Sony didn't grant her demands. We've heard about this.
Leaked emails, crew resignations, and sealed court footage reveal Blake Lively's behind-the-scenes meltdown on It Ends With Us. From yelling at makeup artists for not doing Serena-style blush, to hijacking the script, walking off set, and secretly screening her own unauthorized version of the film, Blake allegedly turned the production into chaos. Sony called her edit unwatchable. Test screenings hit record lows. Justin Baldoni's vision was destroyed. Internal emails confirm she illegally flew her own cut to a fan event and screened it without approval. Now, court documents show 36 changes Blake made without permission, forcing a Frankenstein version of the film no one wanted. This was supposed to be her comeback. Now it's a crisis. Watch the full story with receipts, leaked footage, and industry insider commentary. Click the video now before it's taken down.